Let's get off topic.
His name is Ralph.
My name's Shelby, and performance is my business.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
You like it? It's very generous.
Everything that guy just says is bullshit. Thank you.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
It's four-leaf clover. Make a wish.
Wish you weren't so fucking awkward, bud.
Welcome, everybody, to the premiere episode of our podcast. So my name is Shelby White. I am here with Ralph Rivera. We are starting a new podcast to talk about our daily lives. I mean, every week we text each other, we call each other, and do whatever. We wind up talking at work, and we talk about movies, video games, family, music, basically anything that's going on in our lives that we share in common, and we figured we might as well bring it right here to your ears. So we are starting off today. We're starting with a topic because we just happened to both see the movie Parasite recently, which a few weeks ago did win the best Oscar, or the best picture Oscar, at the 2020 or 2019 Oscars. So we figured since we both saw it, that just happened, let's talk about it. I watched it a few weeks ago. Ralph just watched it last weekend, and I know I enjoyed it. What do you think?
Thought it was a very interesting movie.
Yeah.
It was... I didn't know what to expect. You originally told me it was a comedy, so I went into it thinking I was going to see a comedy, but the title's Parasite.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Korean film, maybe like a bug, and it's just like a comedy where like somebody gets a disease and it's like all crazy.
And it's like, because you like look at the cover of the movie and you're like, it's just a bunch of people standing in a yard with like sensor bars on their face. Like, what's that all about, you know? I didn't know what I was getting into either. I just knew that I had to go see this movie, and I wound up seeing it on a plane, actually.
You saw it on a plane?
I saw it on a plane, which was, you know what it was? I was like, I happened to be talking about it with Christine, and I was like, I really want to watch this movie Parasite, and she's like, I don't want to watch that. After I like tried to explain to her why I wanted to watch it, and I was like, it's a South Korean film with subtitles, like it's gonna be good. She's like, I'm not watching that. I was like, all right, whatever. She fell asleep on the plane, and I saw it on there, and I was like, yes, this is my opportunity. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. Now, I mean, I think there's a lot of meaning to the name of it. There's a lot of meaning throughout the movie.
100%.
You know, and I remember asking you to watch it, and you were like, all right. And then you texted me when you got it done, and I was like, I don't want to ask you what you think yet, because I want to save it for when we talk about it and everything. So go ahead. What were more of your initial thoughts other than just like title and stuff?
It's weird because like each part of the movie feels like a different type of movie. Like the opening scene, they're in a basement apartment. It's like I'm trying to understand the dialect of like the way the Koreans speak. Like it's when I'm speaking in American, you can understand if I have an angry tone, ominous tone. Like when I'm trying to learn how they're speaking and trying to figure out each character as it's going.
Yeah. And
I'm like thinking Parasite. All right, somebody's gonna get a disease when that guy's like drunk and he's outside and he's like, they're going to go outside and confront him.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's about to get infected
he's patient
right
zero.
now. Yeah, I'm like, oh, God, here it comes.
No, that's funny, because he actually, and I remember telling you that it had, like, that dark comedy to it. I think they, like, classified it as a tragic comedy. I think that's what they went with.
Okay.
Like a tragic dark comedy or something like that, which it fits perfectly, you know, like, that's what it is. It's a tragic comedy. And it does start off on that pretty comedic tone, I think. Was at the beginning of the movie, they're searching for Wi-Fi or something, right?
Yeah. They're trying to get a job
tiny
in like
bathroom.
a pizza place or something like that.
Do all those odd jobs. Now before, because they really kind of harp, I guess, on the class system and in this a little bit in capitalism, and you got the poor family, the richer family, which hits a previous film of the director Bong Joon-ho is Snowpiercer, which is one of my favorites. Which
Excellent.
He did the same thing, if you think about it, with the train, is class systems.
Yes.
You know? So I noticed that kind of almost with the movie as it goes along, you realize it's like the poor family who kind of symbolically with their house, they legit live lower than everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like that. He's visually and storytelling just showing you that they're the bottom of the barrel. which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't think about that until afterwards too, where the beginning of the movie they're getting free fumigation.
Yeah. He's
They're
like,
God, just leave the windows open. And then they're literally getting pissed on, like they're the shit of the earth kind of thing. And all the while still kind of being optimistic, like the whole family's putting it together, putting pizza boxes shittily together.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. And then what'd you think of the Park family? What'd you think of the Park family?
They were
the richer family.
The wife was kooky. She was like a simple, rich woman. Very nice, but
simple Jack.
Simple. Simple Jack.
Simple Jack.
She's very oblivious to other people in the world. She's definitely very sheltered.
Yeah.
But she's very kind, but very easily swayed.
Oh, so easily.
Yeah.
Which is. I mean, she seemed to me as with no background on her at all. She seemed like somebody who probably came from money previously to that, who married into money as well.
Exactly.
And she's just sort of gliding by, loves her kids, loves her family, sort of thing.
What'd you think about the son, the rich family son, Dae-ho, whatever?
Oh, I forgot his name. Dae-song or something like that.
I think it's something like that.
A little weirdo, but he was great. I mean, as the movie kept going, at first you kind of barely see him. He's just like a little odd guy with his artistic drawings. I love that when he goes, he's like, oh, it's a chimpanzee. He's like, no, that's a self-portrait. And then when he's outside later on in the rain with the tent, the tent and everything, and he's just chilling out there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And I just loved, one thing I loved about it is I guess with the name Parasite as the complete, I guess totally complete spoilers about this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
FYI,
if
you haven't seen it, there's complete spoilers about the movie. But later on through the movie, as the poor family starts to parasitically make their way into this rich, nobody's really a bad guy. Nobody's a bad guy, really, in the movie. I guess the poor family kind of persuading their way in with lies and stuff like that, but they're not doing a bad thing. They're helping out this richer family by getting themselves jobs.
Well, I mean, they did at first.
Yeah, at first. That's what I mean. In the beginning of the movie, 100%. At first, they weren't doing anything bad. The rich family wasn't doing anything bad. They were just seeing things painted in a light that the poor family was doing. And then, so you're kind of not rooting for anybody or rooting against anybody until shit starts going south.
Yeah. I was still trying to figure out the movie. I would say I didn't really figure out what the movie was until they started being parasites to the rich family.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when his buddy comes to him and asks him to tutor this girl in English from a wealthy family to make money, he wants him to protect the girl from other guys so that when he gets back from studying abroad,
he can ask her out.
He can date her. Yeah. So I'm thinking, this is going to be like a rom-com. This guy's going to fall in love with the girl. His buddy's going to come back. There's going to be some, funny bad blood scenes. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I know a girl that knows art. She could teach your son. And then it's really his sister.
Yeah.
But they're lying to him, saying that it's girl Jessica from America.
Yeah.
And then, that was like, oh, okay. He's just trying to get his sister a job. They're poor. I get it. And then all of a sudden it's like, let's get the driver out. Let's get my dad a job.
Yeah.
And then,
that was the real, getting the sister a job, like you just said, what? There was nothing bad about that. Nothing. He got a sister a job. But then when they plant, the underwear and shit, to get the guy fired, that's when it's like, okay, I still like this family, but that was a dick move.
Yeah.
And then it just progressively gets worse to get the mother hired, with the peach.
Trying
shit.
to almost kill the housekeeper.
Basically, and so maniacal where even the dad goes to the hospital and takes a selfie and he's like, whoa, isn't that what's her name in the background there with tuberculosis spraying hot sauce on the napkin? what they wound up doing progressively got worse, which I liked because they did it the 4 times, to infiltrate the family, and then that was funny. And then when shit starts going south and what's her name, the maid comes back to go get her. That was her husband in the basement, right?
Yeah, I did not see that coming at all.
What a great twist.
He probably was my favorite character
The dad or the
guy
other
in the
the husband in the basement.
Dude, that scene when they're because there's something that went on with the rich family son early on, and like the sister hints at it, and the mother like won't talk about it, and then eventually she comes forward and she says what happened, and then like they show you like a scene of a flashback of him just coming up the steps, and you just see his eye in the top of his head, and the kid's like freaking out. Like, dude, I was cracking up.
Yeah,
that was like probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Oh yeah, no, that was great. Even when I loved when the maid came in and like they let her in through the rain and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I just have to go downstairs and get something," and she's like gone for however long, and they're like, "All right, we should probably go check on her." She's just like crammed between the cupboard and the wall, like trying to open it. I was dying. I thought that was funny. And then that rock shit too, you know. And he's just like, "Oh, I love Mr. Park, Mr. Park."
Oh,
you know, like he's living in this dude's basement. He doesn't even know about him, you know.
Then he's doing the Morse code by bashing his skull against the button to do the lights. Like,
oh, that was nuts. I love shit like that where it's like you kind of, which is a nice breath of fresh air in movies nowadays, is to completely be taken off guard.
Yeah.
You know, like there's so many movies out there now that you could be like, all right, shit's gonna go well for these people. You know, like these two people are gonna end up together. Blah blah blah. Like too many things are telltale. Like you know what's gonna happen.
It's
and
2020. I mean, every trope in every movie is pretty much
it's ridiculous.
Done.
Yeah. So to have a movie like this come out and just be like, oh shit, like every 20 minutes you're like, what is going on?
It kind of transformed every 20 minutes from like a different movie. Like it was originally looked like a rom-com, then it kind of turned into like like a not like a heist, but you know, like a infiltration, let's con these people and make some money type of movie, and then all of a sudden shit just goes sideways.
Yeah. Well, I mean it all to like when they come down, the richer family goes away in the rain, or they come back because of the rain, but they go away on that camping trip, and the other family's just drinking, taking baths, you know, like having a good time in their house. Because it all seems well, you know, like you could have the movie sit right there, and the movie ends. It's a nice short film about a family who infiltrated this other one, you know, and then shit goes south completely from there. But I thought that was such a cool part too, with like the rain, talking about the class systems from before with the rain, how the rich family's just inside, their kids out in a tent, they're enjoying, they're banging each other on the couch, you know, like while the rain's happening, it's beautiful. Meanwhile, this poor family is now running back to their house. It's rain was a different thing for the classes, you know, like the rich people are having a good time, the poor people are literally spooning and cupping and dragging buckets of water out of their home, you know,
flooding the entire
street,
like
flooding everything so it's like even the elements just affect them all differently.
When she goes into the bathroom and the poop is just shooting out of the toilet, and she's trying to just like sit there, I was
she's sitting on top of it,
just diarrhea and just feces just flying everywhere.
I like even when they go back and they like have this built up confidence about what they've already done, like they start fighting back against the guy who pisses on their house, you know, like we start spraying water at him, the guy's like pissing at him, and they're all out there fighting. Like it really did it tied well those comedic turns without it being like stupid, you know. You know, so
not
there's
like
a lot of
one-liner, like
exactly. You know,
minutes,
like you don't just have the comedic best friend who throws in a one-liner at an inappropriate time. You know, like it just had these moments that fit well into the story, and I loved it. I super enjoyed it. I'm so happy that it got the recognition it deserved. Yeah, personally, and I knew I wanted to see it too. I watched it too late, but I knew I wanted to see it as soon as I saw the director, because Bong Joon-ho, like Snowpiercer is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I know I told you to watch that one too, and you were like, yeah, definitely.
As soon as I finished Parasite, I put on Snowpiercer, and I love it. It's amazing.
It's so good. I freaking love that movie. He's so, again, with the classes of like the train, if you're not familiar with Snowpiercer, it was I'm pretty sure it was manga first, like it was a comic book or something like that, or a novella, or but I think it was French, I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was a French comic book, and they adapted it for the movie, which was great. If you haven't seen it, go see it. Tons of names too, you know, like as far as you have this South Korean director who makes this movie with a ton of American actors, between Chris Evans, Ed Harris,
and then
Tilda
the guy
Swinton, you know,
from
like
Jumper, right? his buddy.
Yeah. Jamie Bell.
That's his name?
Yeah, Jamie Bell. Even the guy in the beginning of the movie who gets his arm frozen, he's in a ton of shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He always looks different, too. And he plays with so many different accents, but he's in a ton of stuff.
Well, there was a few other, like, not big name actor or actresses, but the African-American lady, I don't remember what her name is in real life, but she's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, Octavia Spencer, I want to say is her name. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, she's tons of stuff.
A few of the other smaller parts, like the guy who was the chef or whatever, he's in a bunch of movies too.
Yeah. So you got a bunch of big name people jumping in this movie. So, I mean, I enjoyed the crap out of it. Chris Evans, I don't know if I said Chris Evans, but obviously he's the main character of the movie. I just loved there were so many parts in that movie where you kind of see the same thing as far as struggle to survive sort of stuff. From like the poor people to the richer people, but the subtle hint, Snowpiercer, and we were saying before, like that's one of those movies. If it's on TV, which nobody watches TV anymore, but if it's on TV, I'm watching it.
Yeah, you gotta.
You said the same thing. Yeah, and it's what's it called? As they're going up the train and everything, it's just battle after battle. It's like it's got the action you want. It's got a cool story, and if you watch it a second time and a third time and a fourth time, you pick up on little things like the one thing I remember watching it and I was like, what is she doing? Like Tilda Swinton's character when she comes back with like her fake teeth and shit, and she's like doing that thing with her arm where she's turning every time she talks, and that's like what the little kids at the end of the freaking movie are doing. You know?
I caught that too.
It's nuts. So
I was wondering, like, was she one of those kids that was in there and she graduated to a higher class system? But at the same time, it was only 17 years.
Yeah, and she was much older.
Yeah, so like I don't know why she would be doing that motion, because Ed Harris did the same thing at the end of the movie. You saw him do that, and then it clicked in his head, in Chris Evans' head, and then he, does what he does.
Yeah. But, oh, man. I fucking love that one. Like when he breaks down at the end with the whole talking about eating babies and shit. Yeah. Yeah, it's very dark in that regard, but it's like, wow. People will do anything to survive. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. I remember we did... on the Circleback podcast, Dan and I, we made up those like, what are your dream video games, like if you can combine two things. And I said if Snowpiercer was a 2D side-scrolling video game, like that would be dope.
That. Yeah.
That would be so cool just to be in that world. And then, but speaking of the movie, TV show's coming out this year.
Yeah, you had mentioned
it comes out in a few months.
Definitely gotta watch that.
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. I mean, completely different cast. I don't know what they're gonna do, but Bong Joon-ho's an executive producer on it, so hopefully they're treating the story right. You know what they might do? I mean, how movies kind of stray, they do their own thing. They might just follow pretty strictly with the comic books or something like that. I don't know how many there are. I'd have to look into that, but
I gotta look into that too. I might want to read those.
Yeah, I'm again, don't quote me, but I think it's a French comic book called like Trans something. I think it's like transportation. It's like French for transportation or something.
Secret engine, secret engine, secret engine. When the kids were singing, I was like, what is going on?
Chanting shit. Yeah. The woman with the eggs just pops those freaking Uzis out of the eggs and stuff. Oh, so good. I love that movie.
Yeah. It's a Chrono.
Yeah, same guy from freaking Parasite, man. He's great. I remember I was watching something, I think right after I watched Parasite, and I was so enveloped in it, I was like, let me learn more about this. And obviously they were nominated and won the 4 awards that they were nominated for at the Oscars.
Oh, they won 4?
They won 4 awards. He was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, and one other thing. And somebody was like, oh, what's his name should have won or should have had a nomination for Best Actor too. They were like, he got snubbed. And I was like, well, listen, they won plenty of awards. They did pretty damn well.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's great, but it was kind of more of an ensemble thing. I thought everybody was great in Parasite. There wasn't one performance or one person in the movie that stood out to me that was just like, oh, this is the lead character. Like, everybody was great.
Yeah, everybody fit perfectly together.
And at the end, that was the biggest thing at the end of Parasite that I thought was like, even the ending just kept going like, holy shit, what is going on? It kept switching it up.
The ending So was that like a flash forward, or was that like a dream sequence type thing? Like that's what he wants.
I took it as a dream sequence. I took it as like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what's gonna happen. You know, like blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna come get you and stuff like that. I perceived it as a dream sequence. I mean, I guess anybody can interpret it
like a Chris Nolan ending.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a little ambiguous.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would like to believe that.
Yeah.
The future and his. I don't want to. Should I ruin the end or?
Yeah.
His father. So what happens? The sister gets killed by the psycho guy.
Craziest birthday party ever.
Yeah.
As if that kid
my God.
didn't already have enough going on in his life that fucked him up.
Yeah, exactly. The guy who scared him last year on his birthday ends up breaking out of the basement and kills one of the poor family's daughter.
Yeah.
Stabs her in the heart, actually, and she ends up dying. And then, the son and mother go get on probation, right?
The son and mother go on probation. The father
kills Mr. Park, who is
Yeah.
the rich family's, father, and then he disappears.
Yeah.
But earlier in the movie, you learn that the old housekeeper cut the security camera. So when he escaped out the front, I'm like, oh, he's going to do something. He's going to disappear because that security camera footage is done.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he's hiding in the basement, sending Morse code messages to his son.
Oh, it's so good.
But he was doing that. He sent a long letter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And when he finally gets at it, the kid finally realized that his father's sending that Morse code letter.
Yeah.
It's like months later. It's winter time.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because he was like hiding up in the hills.
Yeah, and he like finally, like that guy must have been hitting that every day, all day long. And his son finally, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I love when they showed him like sneaking, because he didn't have a housekeeper wife to come bring him food like the previous one, so he's like sneaking out into the kitchen. He's like every day sneaking out into the kitchen like to get food is the risk of my life, Yeah.
I was rooting for them kind of at the end when they start doing bad things. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, these people got to get caught. They're gonna go to jail, and then all of a sudden somebody dies. I'm like, oh shit, I feel terrible.
Oh yeah.
I hope the father gets away and he's okay.
Dressed up as American Indians and shit.
Oh yeah, it was so weird.
Oh, and it all sparked because he said he smells bad.
Yeah, he kept talking.
Great.
Then they're all like, "Oh, we smell like mildew basement. We need to use different shampoo, different detergent."
Even when they first all get hired, I think when they hire the mom in the house too. Was it the son? Doesn't the son walk up to them and be like, "They smell the same"?
Yeah.
And it's like you could just.
It's like her first day.
He's
on
like
the
sitting
job.
there going, "They smell poor."
when the dad first walks in with the father, the rich father, and he grabs the poor woman's ass.
Oh,
it's her husband, but I'm like, they're not supposed in the movie. They're not supposed to be related. They're making up identities, and they're not really like they don't know each other. Yeah. And like he grabs her ass, I'm like, oh, they're gonna get caught having sex somewhere in the house at some point. But nope, that did not happen.
Yeah, no. Oh man, yeah, I freaking love that movie, man. They're so good.
Now, do you traditionally watch a lot of subtitled movies, or was this like one of your first?
It's not one of my first. I don't watch a ton of them. Like most of the subtitle stuff I watch is like anime stuff.
Okay.
More than films. But I'll watch like if I don't like to do the English subs or English dub. Like for the most part, if I'm gonna watch something with subtitles, I'll listen to it with or I'll watch it with subtitles, even though my neck goes up and down the whole time trying to read and watch. But
you kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, it's really you're so into it anyway. You almost know or hope that you know what they're gonna say, and it's like, all right, you just look quick glance. But one of the other things that I watched, I guess in recent, I think it was last year, was Dark. It's like a German.
You had mentioned
show on Netflix. Yeah, I think I told you about that. That was a good one. That I mistakenly watched the first 2 episodes in English. Because it was on Netflix. I think I watched it with an English dub. It was not good. Don't watch it that way.
Like their English dub, did the words not match the mouths? It's just like, cause
so the words didn't match the mouths. You know what it was more than anything that bothers me is that the voices just don't match the character. Yeah. So it's like you hear this voice coming out of him, and you're like, I didn't picture him to sound like that at all. And
welcome
that's because they don't sound like that.
To the sub versus dub argument that's been going on in the anime world forever. Because they're like, I love anime. I watch a lot of anime, and one of the shows I cannot watch in English is Bleach. The voice acting does not match most of the characters. It does not match it. I have to watch it in Japanese.
Oof.
But Dragon Ball Z, I grew up watching it in English, and then Super came out, and
so you're just so used to it.
I'm so used to watching it in English, but I wanted to know what happened because the Japanese, version of the sub is always ahead of the dub. It's like long, like it was way ahead of it, and I'm like, I need to know what happens.
Yeah.
So they scream a lot in that show, and it's really loud, but you gotta barrel through it and you get used to it, and it's so worth it.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I'm the same way. Like ever since I mistakenly watched Dark with the English dubs, I was like, no, over this. I was like, I don't care if it's got subtitles. I'm watching it that way. It's the better way to watch it. And even that's why I said I watched Parasite on a plane. I'm like, looking at this tiny ass screen, and I was like, I don't give a shit. It's like I'm watching it with subtitles. Even and then my buddy Anthony got me into anime a couple of years ago, watching shows, and I didn't even think twice. I was just like, I'm just watching it with subtitles. But yeah, I mean, I don't watch a ton of Dragon Ball Z, but I know you have been watching that for years, so it's like you get it.
Yeah.
You know more than I do about that.
Yeah.
On that front, but yeah, I mean, the only real anime I've been watching lately is One Punch Man, and season 2 sucked, so not really into that.
I really can't make it through. I think I'm up to episode 3 of the first season.
Yeah.
Every time I have a chance to watch it, I fall asleep watching it.
It's crazy. It's just absurdity.
I laugh. Like, he's sleeping.
Yeah.
And he wakes, like, he has this whole crazy dream where he actually finally fights a formidable opponent, and it's like an insect clan of people that come from under the ground. And then you realize he's dreaming, and he wakes up, and the guy, like, is screaming in his ear, like, down the street or whatever, and he goes outside to fight him, and he, like, taps him, and the insect dude explodes. Yeah. It's just, like, it's...
This is so funny. There's, because it always, like, the first season was great, because it had... The culmination at the end was just like with a formidable opponent, you know, like actually and stuff like that. And there are even a few episodes similar to that, but like the comedy, I think I want to say it's the first episode of that where they have like he fights the giant half man half lobster thing or something like that.
I'm not sure if that's the first episode, but I saw that episode.
It's got to be
so it has to be one of the first.
Yeah, one of the first ones there. That one's just funny. And they have a game coming out actually for One Punch Man. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like One Punch Man, and then it has a subtitle to it. But the thing is, because obviously it's a fighting game, but you can't make a fighting game about a guy who kills everybody in one punch.
Yeah.
So what it is I watched some gameplay of it. I don't know if you could set it up as 1-on-1, but it was a 2-on-2 fight between characters. So you choose 2 characters, and the other team's got 2 characters, and you can jump between the 2.
Like a Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah. And whichever side, I guess, is the good guys, if it's a good guy, bad guy sort of thing, because there's tons of characters to choose from. The good guys, One Punch Man, Saitama is his name, I think.
Okay.
I remember. So there's a timer to when he shows up to the fight. So if he shows up, they win. You know, like
the good guys win.
Like you get to be Saitama and you punch the other team and they die in one hit. But the bad guys, if they can defeat the 2 guys first, they'll win. You know, like if they win before Saitama shows up, they win.
Okay.
But the other 2 guys are like not as powered up. So the bad guys have an advantage off the bat because they're more powerful and they're stronger and stuff like that. Like one of the guys, his name is Moomin Rider. He like rides a bike. He's really not a superhero like in the show. He just kind of rides his bike around
like a regular bicycle.
Yeah, like a regular guy who wants to have superpowers but doesn't. So he was one of the characters in the gameplay that I watched, and he's just like picking up his bike and throwing it at people and shit like that. And he's not powered up whatsoever, but. So I thought that was a pretty cool concept if you're going to make a fighting game about a guy who can't lose.
Yeah.
You know, like to make it built on a timer like that. Because there's actually an episode in the first season where that kind of happens, where like this one guy's just beating the shit, like this one bad guy's beating the shit out of everybody, you know, and then Saitama shows up and beats him.
Was that the House of Science episode when they go to infiltrate that?
No, that was a cool one though.
That's the one when he has like the cyborg friend.
Yeah, so he's with the cyborg guy, whose name I can't remember right now, but they go to that House of Science and they fight the Beetle,
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like a beetle.
Remember.
That's a funny freaking episode. He's like a horned beetle or something like that. It's like a guy mixed with
and he's like
stink
the
bug.
ultimate weapon of that guy.
Yeah.
But he cloned himself a million times, and you see the beetle just like slaughtering his clones and stuff.
Dude, that one is like Saitama, like this whole thing, he powers up and Saitama gets all angry because he's missing like a sale at the grocery store that day. So he like gets super angry and punches him and wins. That one's a really funny episode.
For him to show emotion is weird because he's always like monotone, like, okay, I'm gonna go over here and do this, because he's just not happy with his life because he can't fight anybody who's strong enough.
He borrows a video game from a character called King. This might be in season 2, but there's a character called King who is a superhero, and he borrows video games from him and breaks them. He like breaks his controller because he's like pressing the buttons too hard. So he gets all worried about normal, like a superhuman aspect on a normal thing. Like he's like, oh fuck, I broke his controller. Like I can't give it back to him now. Man. You know, it's just so stupid. But
I definitely want to give that a watch. It's just I'm watching so many different animes right now on top of family life, work. You know, it's hard to once I clear through. Well, My Hero Academia, I'm caught up on.
That one I haven't started yet. I gotta watch that.
It's really good. They're in the 4th season.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Dan likes it, I believe.
It's very nice.
It's a very nice show. No, because it's
a very nice man.
The basis of the show is there's superheroes. It's a genetic mutation, and all of a sudden people have superpowers, and everybody has a different one. Whether it's you can make flames with your hands, you can make ice with your hands, you have telepathy, you know, stuff like that. You're super strong, super fast, you can teleport, you can go invisible. Like there's the whole spectrum of powers. But with great power comes great responsibility, and Spider-Man quote.
Okay, Ben.
And there's also villains, and there's people that don't necessarily do the right thing with their power. So, you know, you got
the classic conflict.
Yeah. So you got a whole bunch of good people, and you got a whole bunch of bad people, and then this show takes place, you know, further along in like the evolution of it. So there's like all these being a hero is like. Did you ever see the movie, the show Powers?
You were telling me to watch this. I know there's one called Power and there's one called Powers.
Powers is the PlayStation network TV show with all the superheroes.
Okay.
So
I know of it. I haven't watched it.
It's like that where like superheroes are contracted. You have to be like, it's not like anybody could just go out in the street and fight a villain. You have to be like a licensed superhero. So like there's a school called UA. They call it UA. I don't remember the exact name of it. And like this kid, he wants to go to UA. He wants to become a superhero, but he has no powers. He's a nobody, but he knows he's such a fanboy for this one hero called All Might. He's like the strongest superhero there ever was. He's the symbol of peace, symbol of hope, all that stuff. But like he wants to be like him, but he has no powers. And like it takes place with him wanting to always do the right thing and wanting to stick up for people who can't stick up for themselves, even though he really can't stick up for his own self because he has no powers. But it's a really good show. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get it because I started watching Sword Art Online like a year or two ago, and I know that one's
the first season is really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
Second season, it's weird the way they structured that show because when it first came out, it was Sword Art Online, and there's the first game that they get stuck in. Then there's a second game, and then there's a third game. It grows. If you haven't watched it, I don't want to ruin anything for you.
Yeah.
But the second season of the show is called Sword Art Online 2. But then after that, like they came out with like a third season, but it's called Sword Art Online Season 3. So it was weird how they structured it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Sword Art Online 2 is really still Sword Art Online. It's just the second season.
And then the third one is called Season 3? Like it's not like Sword Art Online 3?
They didn't call it Sword Art Online 3. They just called Sword Art Online, and then it's like Season 3.
And then what's the fourth one? Season 4.
But so it's based off of novels, Japanese novels. So I'm not sure if each season plays into each like book, but there's a bunch of chapters, and we're behind by like a decent amount. And each season basically covers a lot of one book, I think, maybe or multiple. Right now they're in on the anime, they're up to is it Rise of Underworld? Or I don't know. But it's a continuation of season 3. So season 3 is its own thing, but season 4 branches off of that even more. It just keeps growing and growing and growing because how far did you get in the first season?
I want to say halfway through. I think it was like one of those lot of episodes kind of thing.
I think it was.
Am I right in that? Or was it like network television? Like, is it one of those 22 episodes?
I think it's on Fiji TV in Japan, there's another one.
I don't remember what I might have watched it on like Crunchyroll or something.
Probably
like that.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Actually, you know what? I think it's on Netflix. I may have watched it on that.
Yes,
at least the first season was.
I believe the first one was when I first started watching it. I imagine by now the second and the third would be on it. I think it's like 20-something episodes a season. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I watched it. I watched the first 2 seasons twice through because I loved it. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And they went on hiatus for a little while before the 3rd season. The art style completely changed in the 3rd season, though. It became more brighter.
Just like, was it completely noticeable?
Yeah, you can notice it right off the bat. They actually made a movie, too, sort of online ordinal scale. I don't recommend watching that until after you finish, I think, the 2nd season.
Oh, yeah.
Because it kind of bridges the gap a little bit with the 3rd season, I believe. It's a different technology. So, they're in the nerve gear.
Yeah.
And they're, in comas technically because they can't move their bodies. And if they remove it, they die, blah, blah, blah. It's
so interesting when you say stuff like that and then think about how much other pop culture stuff has been influenced by, in a way, kind of sounds like that book turned into a movie, Ready Player One.
I love that movie.
I read the book first, love that book. But think about that in the same way. I mean, they're not comatose, but you put a headset on and you're in this fantasy video game world,
We're almost to that point right now.
If you got an Oculus Quest right there. You're damn right. We're almost at that point.
It's a Rift S2.
Oh, buddy, sorry.
Right? But yeah, it's, the only thing that's missing is an omnidirectional moving pad.
Yeah.
And, you can get stuff that you can put on and you could feel it. But I mean, it's for those, I think I want to say romance games, they have adult, they have adult material for Oculus.
Goes right on the nerve endings of your fingers.
I think you feel the vibration on your chest and other parts of your body.
That would be cool for shooting games. You're do, and you're it's this ain't Nerf anymore.
But we're almost there, as in Ready Player One, we're almost to that point. And then Sword Art Online kind of takes it to the even further level where you're comatose and whatever your brain is literally functioning in this technology as if it's your own body, which is I want to get there in my lifetime because it's awesome.
Think about 20 years ago. It's only 2020.
Yeah.
It's nuts. We had fucking Game Boys 20 years ago.
Wow. You're right.
Think about the crazy shit we have now.
But the technology is very dangerous, and they go into that in the show later on, how they straight off the bat they're into it. You're locked in the game and you'll die if somebody removes your headset, or if you die in the game, you die in real life. Now, later on in the show, they're trying to weaponize that. The headsets. They come up with new headsets and they're trying to weaponize it. It's so it's recreational. It's going to be awesome for us, but there needs to be safety protocols on that because there are people who are always looking to abuse something that could be used to hurt somebody.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I gotta continue watching that show. Well, I'm gonna have to restart it, but I gotta watch that show again.
Yeah, it's not that many episodes. I
just tried looking it up. I couldn't find it, but whatever it is. I mean, they're they're 25-minute episodes, probably. Right?
Yeah, they're quick.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, traditional animes, at some point, you're gonna have episodes that overlap previous episode content. The first 3 minutes of some episodes will be the last 3 minutes of the previous episode. Right. Then there's a commercial break. Then you get some dialogue. Then there's some action, and then it's okay. And then the next episode's next time on Sword Art Online. Yeah. And it's just So that was a slow episode. That sucked. But they do that.
Happens. Filler episodes.
Yeah, you can kind of fast forward through it. It's a 25-minute episode, and you only really get 10 minutes of content that's new sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's enjoyable. As opposed to watching something like Bleach, which is 360 something episodes, and there's a lot of filler seasons in there. But some of them are fillers, but they do have something to do with the overall arcing story. Little tidbits of it.
Yeah.
But it does. Dragon Ball Z's 300 something episodes. Super's a lot. You know, but then you got shows like Full Metal Alchemist, 52 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, those are short and sweet.
You just pop right through that.
And that's one of my favorite.
I think I just told you recently. I think last time we were talking, I just rewatched Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Great show.
You know, yeah, great show. You know what it was? That I think I was just looking at something. I was like, I just want to watch this. Actually, I remember what it was. It was don't they have a live action Avatar?
They have a live action movie. I think was M. Night Shyamalan the director of that movie?
That sucked. They have a live action TV show coming out.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Or at least they put a poster out for it with like Appa in the background or something
way.
like that. Yeah. So I remember seeing that and I was like, all right, if this is going to come out, I got to watch the show again. You know, because I remember watching it as a kid, but not chronologically. You know, like I watched when it was on TV. And you just got random shit. Yeah. So I was like, let me watch it and zoom through that. Great show. It really is. So I hope the TV show. I've never watched a movie, but I heard the worst things about it. So.
Yeah, I don't really recommend watching that movie. I don't remember it. All I remember is that it was bad.
Yeah.
Did you watch?
I remember it being unmemorable.
Yeah, I remember being disappointed severely. Did you watch Legend of Korra, the sequel?
I started the first couple of episodes, but kind of like got busy, so I didn't finish it.
It's very good. It's on par with. I like the original better, but it's on par with it.
Korra is their kid.
No, Korra is the new Avatar.
Oh,
so,
okay.
If you remember in the show, the Avatar goes through the cycle of, I think it's earth, water, air, fire, air.
Yeah.
So
he was air.
So it's earth, fire, air, water. I think is the cycle, whatever it is. So
so he was air, she was water.
Yeah. So she's the water
airbender.
Yeah. So after Aang dies, the new Avatar will be born.
Yeah.
So she's the new Avatar, and the whole show is about her finding her place as the Avatar in this new world. Like the White Lotus clan, who secretly worked to help the Avatar throughout all of the original show, are completely different in this one. They're like they call them glorified sentries, and there's something called the Red Lotus clan now, and they hate the White Lotus. But it's good. You gotta watch it.
I definitely will. I'm just adding to my list now, though.
Yeah, on top of the many games that you have to play.
I know, right? I got so many games I have to play. You know what? at time of recording, it's February or towards the end of February.
Yeah.
You know, so it's usually I spend the first 3 months of the year trying to make up for everything that I missed in the previous years, so 2019, or I just say fuck it and I play whatever the hell I feel like playing. You know, like you gave me the Metroid Prime, so I'm gonna go home. I gotta play that. I'm in the middle of trying to play Dreams too. I love it, man.
Dude, every day I see a new game that somebody made inside of Dreams. Somebody remade Final Fantasy VII.
Really?
In Dreams. I'm not sure how much of the game they remade, but I saw a clip of it and I'm like, oh my god.
Dude, it's incredible what they're doing with that shit. It really is. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, Dreams is a PS4 game made by Media Molecule, who are the makers of the Little Big Planet series, and essentially it's a $40 game. It's not even a full price $60 because they give you a 3-hour story mode kind of
like Mario Maker.
Yeah, but basically what they did is just take it so that you can see what's possible, because they took their engine that they give you. It's like a creation engine, so you can make whatever the hell you want, whether it be a game, a scene, a blah blah blah, you know, like just art. And they took the engine and made this 3-hour experience inside of it, just to show you that, hey, this is possible. You know?
Did you play the 3-hour experience? Because I know you bought it before it released.
Yeah, so. I did the early access, but yeah, I just played I played it on the weekend it came out to full release, and it's so good. It really is. It goes back and forth between showing you different art styles that you can create, because it's called Art's Dream. The main character is Art, and then he has this little
Garfunkel.
Yeah, like this little co-op action platformer that you could play, like which in his head is about his stuffed animals from when he was a kid. And then he also has this robot that he played with as a kid, so you can also see like this futuristic style you can go with. It's incredible what they did, and I've been spending my time like trying to. I mean, I haven't put a ton of hours into it, but I've been trying to play a little bit of, what's it called, like other players' things, because it's truly incredible what people are making.
Yeah.
Like, so I've been trying to play those, but at the same time, like, just try and bullshit around and make my own stuff. I suck, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it.
I'm intrigued by the game, but I know I don't have like the mental fortitude to create something like that in my free time. Like, I want to play, I want to experience other things.
Yeah.
I play Destiny 2, which is a grind. I play Fortnite with my stepson. Yeah. That pretty much is like my secondary game.
Mm-hmm.
The new season just started recently, so when he comes back, it's me and him. We're going to be playing Fortnite nonstop.
You stream both of those, though, right?
Yeah, I do stream.
Yeah, nice.
If you want to follow me on my stream, it's at Twitch TV/MushmasterFlex.
MushmasterFlex.
Yeah. Also, you could check Shelby out on his other podcast, Circleback Gaming. Him and Dan talk about video games every week. Every other week. I'm sorry.
Every other week, yeah. We have fun on that one. Yeah, so what I like about this is that we talk about we started off with Parasite, right?
Yeah.
This is a listen. If you're going to continue to listen to us, get used to that because we go off on tangents.
We'll start on one topic. We'll spend an hour talking about something else, and then we'll come back to another.
Just be lucky we haven't brought up like Blink-182 yet.
Oh, God. That's an argument for another day, I think.
But I'm having a lot of fun with Dreams. It's super cool. You know what it is? I almost want to go. Again, saying you don't have the creative fortitude or whatever, so it's like I feel the same way. I like getting there and I'm like, you know what, I want to make games that I played as a kid and just keep playing them, and I'm like, I can't fucking do that. Who am I kidding?
You're like a half hour in and you're like,
I'm like,
fuck.
What the fuck, I just made one eyeball. It's nuts.
In the same respect though, like you play other people's worlds all the time. I used to do that with Portal 2. I dude, I used to sit there and just do puzzles that people created online for hours.
That's awesome.
Some of them were so complex, some of them were just stupid and funny. Like, I love puzzle games, so like Portal 2, if you haven't played it, there's 2 of them. I hope they make a third. I pray.
Unless they're getting a Half-Life Alex, so it's kind of Half-Life 2.5.
Yeah, it's a VR game only, so I'm probably going to get that and play it on my Oculus.
I wonder if that's, are they going to go to all? I have PSVR, I don't have Oculus, so I wonder if they're going to everything. Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe not. Because that was a Steam game, right?
Yeah. Half-Life was never put on...
I don't think it went to consoles.
Because I know Counter-Strike was made for Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And Portal, that's a Steam game, and they had it on consoles as well. I'm curious to see if they're going to do that with Half-Life.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there was one game that I wanted to play that didn't go to PSVR by Insomniac, who got bought by Sony, but they were making this game before they got bought out, called like Stormland or something like that. It was like a first-person robot shooter or something, but I think it only went to Oculus.
I gotta check that out. I know Robo Recall is like a first-person shooter.
Yeah,
and
probably something in the same vein. I don't know. I want to say it's Storm. It might not be Stormland, but I feel like that's what it was called.
Well, you played Astrobot.
Yeah, Astrobot's
and that's on
great.
the PS4, which...
Yeah.
And
Astrobot and Moss.
Resident Evil 7 was... I was so excited because I got the Oculus Rift for Christmas. I'm like, I can play Resident Evil 7 again, but in VR, and I'm going to shit my pants. I can't wait. Only PS. They only made it on PS.
Really?
Yeah, I can't play it.
Oh, man. You have to come over then. That and... What else did they did a couple games where you could play them both. Doom. They did the new Doom.
I think
could
that's
play
on
in VR.
PC as well.
And
I pre-ordered Eternal.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know Dan's super excited about that one too.
Dude, did you see the 10-minute gameplay footage they have?
I didn't watch it because I didn't finish the first one. I started playing the Doom 2016, but I haven't finished it, so I didn't want to watch the new stuff yet.
I had played it on the computer, and then something else came out, or I got back into World of Warcraft at the time. I don't remember what happened. Something took up my time.
Yeah.
And so I dropped it, and then I bought it on the Switch because the Switch came out, and it was like, oh, Doom. Let me finally play it like on the go.
Yeah.
I haven't touched it. But I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah, right?
Freaking awesome.
No, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about the new Doom series, so good for them. And Eternal's probably going to be awesome too.
Yeah.
It's just a badass game.
Dude.
Yeah.
No reloading and just constant slaughter.
Yeah.
They have a new mode.
You can't go wrong with that.
It's a 2v1 game mode. I don't know if it was
Yeah.
in the last one, but it's like it's something like that, and then there's invasions, like kind of like Dark Souls, I think, or Bloodborne, or whatever. You can invade people's games as demons and try to kill them.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Like you
I
can
didn't
just
know
ruin
that.
somebody's day.
Oh man, that's so cool.
I'm not sure if that's in the base game final product, but I remember watching like footage of them talking, the developers talking about it.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited for that.
Dude, that would be sick. Yeah, I know. There's so many games that come out every year. It's like we have such a big list of games set to come out this year. I mean, a few of them got pushed back, but they're still coming out this year. That's just like, ugh.
What's your most
Anticipated?
Yeah.
Dreams already came out.
Really?
No. I don't know. I mean, what are the big ones? We got Cyberpunk 2077 come out. We got Last of Us 2.
Is Halo Infinite slated for holiday this year?
I don't know. I mean, I would assume that if they showed as much as they did already, minus gameplay. I mean, they announced that. They announced the Xbox Series X coming out. You know, like I would assume it's a launch title for a selling point.
I would think so.
You know, but that's the other thing about PlayStation. You know, like we have these games coming out. Like Last of Us 2 is a PlayStation exclusive, and then the PS5 coming out at the end of the year, which we've only heard about one or two exclusives so far. You know.
What were the exclusives?
What was that one that they announced at the Video Game Awards? I think.
Was it Godfall?
Godfall.
But they leaked. It leaked.
Was it Godfall?
I think it leaked beforehand, and then they re-announced. I don't know what happened. I know it's one of them.
Well, one of them came out that had like a cool look to it, and then the rest are kind of just assumptions. Like, you know, like Ubisoft, I believe it was Ubisoft, said they have like 5 games in the works. You know,
I think, was it Ubisoft who said that they're reimagining classic hits that they had? One game company had said that
somebody said
that. Like a few games from the past that were hits
that would be great.
That they're redoing in 2020.
That would be great. You know, I mean, remasters are selling. Remakes, they're selling. Yeah, look at Crash and Spyro. You know, like those remakes are great.
Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. Well, one of the best games of the year last year, regardlessly. So it's like
game of last year.
It's nuts. That's super cool. And then I'm just waiting for, because Sony just pulled out of what's the big one coming up?
E3 again.
Is it E3?
They pulled out of E3 again.
They just pulled out of something else because of the coronavirus. Like there's something coming up. I'm not sure if it's PAX or something like that.
I don't remember.
Something's coming up like either next month or 2 months, and Sony pulled out because of the coronavirus.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about Parasite.
Yeah. Right. But it's like, do you wonder if they're really just using that as an excuse to continue to hide what they have and then come out? Because they've been, ever since they started pulling out of shit, they've been doing the State of Plays, the Sony State of Plays, which I love them.
Well, Nintendo does the same thing with Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, Nintendo Direct. So they're kind of just pulling a branch off that tree, but whatever. I think they're great. And then we have to have a big PS5 reveal coming up soon, though. You know, like
not Last of Us 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be a launch title though. It's coming, it's inevitable, but I'm not sure if it's going to be a launch title.
Did you see that leak that somebody had posted? All this info about PlayStation, like he released on Reddit this new slogan for PS5 before it was put on their Twitter and on their accounts.
Yeah,
it was like I can't remember what the new slogan is, but he released it in this huge essay about all things. Last of Us 2 is going to be announced. Not Last of Us 2. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is going to be announced. Horizon Zero Dawn is going to PC. Will be officially announced. Like all this stuff,
Wow.
But I don't know if any of it came out because of everything that's been going on with like the conventions being stopped and travel bans and
I don't know. It's tough when you see all that. There's so many hopes, you know. Like everybody has hopes for what. I wish everything just came out and it's like, all right, cool, no more secrets. Just tell me everything about it. You know, like because I've always been somebody who bought like systems pretty early on and had the first generation. Like I had the first generation PlayStation 3 until the very end of the PlayStation 3 where it almost shit out on me, basically, you know, and I gave it away to my brother.
I've been a day oneer my whole life.
I have my day one PS4, you know. I got it like a month after it came out, you know.
I get everything midnight, day one. I've always done that. Yeah.
See, I've always been on the back burner with that, and I've been like, I'm not gonna get it day one because what if it has bugs, blah blah blah, and then I wind up buying it not even a month later because I'm weak. I'm a weak person.
If I have something in my head that I want, I could fight it for only so long before I just buy it.
Yeah, and then temptation creeps in. No, I wind up doing that all the time. And then you know what happened last time I did that? I bought a PS4 and I got Knack. Yeah, that's what I got.
Knack? I thought Knack was on the Xbox.
No, that was a PS4.
Oh no, wait, that was another game. That was the Xbox 360.
I'll never forget when I first bought a PS2, first game, and I played it for like weeks because it was the only one I had. Tekken Tag tournament.
One or two, I don't remember.
The first one, whichever one came out as like a
launch title?
I don't know if it was a launch title, but it was
dude, I used to play that game in the arcade.
Love Tekken. Dude, I have I found my Vita the other day, my PlayStation Vita, and I opened it up and on it was Tekken 2. I downloaded Tekken 2 on it and I played it for like an hour. I was like, this is fucking great.
Classics.
Love it. But yeah, PS2, PS3. I didn't buy an Xbox until this generation. Xbox One was my first Xbox.
Really?
Yeah.
I would probably say the Xbox 360 was probably their best.
Had the most
generation. Stuff, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, the first Xbox had Halo. You know.
Yeah, it created the seed for everything that it was. My neighbors and I played Fusion Frenzy till like our fucking fingers bled.
Was that like that Battle Royale game, like when you're on that platform?
Yeah, it was absurd. It was just a bunch of mini games and it was like a futuristic like Jet Set Hero kind of, not Mario Party almost, basically, like that's just what it was. But we used to play that nonstop. But I'd never, that was their Xbox, so I always played it with them. And this was the first generation I bought one, and I want to say I was swayed because they finally had the Master Chief Collection coming out for this, and I was like, all right, this is my chance to catch up on the Halo series, like I gotta play it. I want to play in like the first 3 games almost nonstop exclusively. And for that, and because Insomniac decided that, hey, we've been doing PlayStation stuff for so long, fuck it, let's do Sunset Overdrive and only make it come out on Xbox. And I was like, you sons of bitches.
I never played that.
It's great. Sunset Overdrive is a ton of fun.
Are they making a sequel?
Maybe. Probably not, now that Sony owns them.
I mean, Sony could.
But they could release it on Sony platform. But yeah, so they came out with that. The Master Chief Collection came out, and I was like, you know what? All the Madden and Xbox, all the Madden, like NHL, like all the football and sports games that I like to play, all my friends played them on Xbox. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me get an Xbox, So that's why I got that. And then I'm easily going to get a PS5 over an Xbox Series X.
I'm probably not getting... I tell myself I'm not getting any console this generation.
Yeah.
But I know that's a lie. I probably won't get the Xbox One Series X because anything that comes out on Xbox will be coming out on PC, and I'm mainly a PC gamer.
Right. Yeah, see, that's the one thing I don't PC game. You do.
Yeah. So, but I will definitely be purchasing a PS5 for Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
If it becomes yeah.
It came out. They did the same thing with The Last of Us, the first one, because it came out at the end of the PS3 generation,
and then they had the remastered.
And then they did the remaster or definitive edition, whatever it was called, and it was great.
And it came with all the DLC, like that prequel with the girls.
Yeah, the
getting bitten.
Left Behind.
Left Behind. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, it was good, real good, with Ellie and her friend. Yeah, that was great DLC.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is also a PlayStation exclusive that I'm not skipping because I love the first one.
I'm really gonna assume that it's not a launch title. It would be a great selling point for them, but I don't know. I don't see it just because we haven't heard anything whatsoever. Maybe it's a big surprise. That would be great.
I hope.
Because say they lined up the PS5 you now have, and a personal thing that I think they're going to announce, which I've heard rumors of, is a new Ratchet and Clank game coming out that might...
But I know you love that.
Yeah, love that series. Now, I think that might be a launch title for them, considering they said that they're all in. Since acquiring Insomniac, they're all in. So, we'll see what happens. But say you have The Last of Us 2, which will undoubtedly get a definitive edition.
Yeah.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2. A Ratchet and Clank game, possibly. Or, who knows how long before the next Spider-Man. That could be next year. Or probably 2 years. I would say 2022 we'll get the next Spider-Man game.
I'm pretty sure they already have it in the works already. I think
Oh, yeah, for sure. After the success of the first one.
Yeah.
But to polish it up and make it as good as it can be, I would say another 2 years maybe. And then God of War is going to get another one. You know, like PlayStation is so strong off of their exclusives.
Dude, how do you follow up God of War?
I don't know.
With a sequel that does it better than the first without ruining the game? Because that game,
no clue. And the director said that he's got like 5 games in mind. You know,
for that series.
For that series, he's like, dude, when we revamped it, he was like, I could do 4 or 5 games, and I was like,
wow,
damn.
I hope he does, and I hope they're all good.
Yeah, oh yeah, that would be great. Such a good, what a hell of a reboot there. And then you got Blue Point Games, who did the Shadow of the Colossus remake, who are talking about having another 2 or 3 remakes of old popular games that they're working on. So it's like, fuck, we get so much is coming up, you know?
Yeah, didn't they announce one of the games, or they teased one of the games they're doing a remake for?
I don't...
Like in a tweet?
They did a tease. They did a tweet tease, but they were so ambiguous about it. So it's like, they kind of teased and said keywords that could have hinted at anything. You know, like...
Somebody had said they think it's a certain game.
Could be Castlevania. I think Demon Souls is what they're
That's
working
what
on.
it was,
Yeah.
Demon Souls.
I think Demon Souls is what they're working on. I mean, given the popularity of all the Dark Souls games, Sekiro from last year.
I'm still working through that.
Yeah. So, given...
you know
what? Sekiro was the first one I played, and I have Dark Souls remastered for Xbox, so I got to play that.
Not really a fan of From Software. I mean, I play their game.
Yeah.
I get frustrated. I smash my controller. I don't play their game.
From Software games cost me about $120. One for the game, one for a new controller to smash when I buy it.
Yeah. I liked Bloodborne a lot.
That I have too for PlayStation, but I haven't played that.
But
that's another PlayStation, dude. No, dude, they have fucking exclusives, man.
Yeah.
They are killing it there.
I got halfway through that game.
Yeah.
And then something else came out, and I was stuck on a boss, and then it was just like,
Story
okay.
of our fucking lives.
Yeah. Sekiro, I killed Lady Butterfly finally. She was
Granny
like
with the sewing kit.
Oh god, dude, she was so glitchy when I was fighting her. Like I had played on PC, so it runs very smooth.
Yeah.
But like I know how she transitions in midair and like changes her motion, but she lands on a thread before she does that, and then it goes in a different direction. Well, when I was playing, not all the time did she land on a thread. She would literally be going diagonal to the left, and I would dodge to the right and run away. And all of a sudden, she's killing me. I'm like, what is going on?
She throws shit. Be careful.
Oh, those spirits, when you get to the second phase, and
she's
those
whipping around.
Spirits, if you don't kill them, they turn into orbs, and they literally murder you.
I got pretty lucky when I was fighting her, I have to say. I think I beat her on within 10 tries.
Oh, good for you.
Dude, I can't even tell you how lucky I got when I was doing that, because I think she was throwing shit in that last phase, and I was behind a pillar when she was throwing it or something, I was just not getting hit, but completely by accident, not by my own doing, and just I wound up throwing shit back at her and knocking her out of a few of whatever it was. I don't remember, but it was great. She sucked, and she's hard.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, they're gonna continue making fantastic games in that vein,
Yeah,
it's what they're good at. But, yeah, I mean, I'll probably, depending on what that lineup is towards the end of the year, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a battle. Xbox is going to have to hit back with something,
That's why I think Halo Infinite might be a launch title, because that's a strong title.
Strong title, strong possibility that will be a launch title. It makes sense.
I did enjoy the multiplayer of Halo 5.
Yeah.
But I did not really enjoy the story. It was a split story between two characters. You had Master Chief, and then you had Locke and his group.
Yeah.
And it just... I don't traditionally like games that flash back and forth throughout the entire campaign. Like Resident Evil 6. You play Leon's campaign. By the time you get invested in his character, his campaign's over.
Yeah.
And it's why? And then you play as Chris, and then his campaign's over, and then it's... that other new character, Wesker, it was a Wesker brother or a clone or whatever it was. And by the time it's just I want to be invested into a long story.
Yeah.
Why is once it gets good, it's
it off.
over? No, stop.
Oh man, I haven't played that one. That's
You don't need to play it.
But it, no, it makes sense though for them to have that as a launch title, and then even like say that comes out as a launch title, and at the same time or near that time they announce like another Gears of War.
Oh, you know it's coming.
Yeah, so it's. I think 5 got pretty well reviewed. You know, like
I loved 5.
Yeah, so I think that's another inevitable one. But since that came out last year, maybe an announcement will be. You know.
Did you play?
I didn't. I've only played the first one. That's a series I do want to play in order.
Yes.
Like I don't want to because they're all on. I have Game Pass, so
Skip
it's like,
Salvation.
Is that like a?
It's like a prequel. Don't play it.
Okay.
Don't.
But I mean, the rest of them are number order, right? Isn't
One,
it?
yeah.
It's
Salvation
1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
came after 3. It was like a prequel.
Okay.
To all of them.
So I'll skip that one and I'll play the main series.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all on Game Pass, I believe.
That's how I ended up playing 5 because I had a bad taste in my mouth from 4 because I thought the story was non-existent. Like a lot of games are becoming recently. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of games really don't have a cohesive, long, in-depth story. They're just like enjoy the gameplay and we're gonna like string you along. Yeah. And that's kind of how like the game was. And I was like, damn it. And then the ending's like pre-order Gears 5. That's what it was like. It was like they give you a drop, like a big O
at a
moment.
Discount code.
No, like give you like a huge O moment. Like you've been trying to figure out what's going on the whole game, and then you get to the end, and it's like, yeah, this is that. Game over. You're like, oof, damn. Yeah, but 5 actually like went in depth, and you know it was enjoyable. I really had fun.
Well, I know they're trying to make a movie with that, and
forever they've been trying.
Dave Bautista is like fucking promoting the shit out of himself to play Marcus Phoenix.
And he wants Terry Crews to play Coltrane.
Yeah. Like I think that's great choices.
Dude, I'm all behind
I haven't
it.
played the games. I think that's a great choice between the two of them. They fucking look enough like them.
Yeah.
Didn't Terry Crews play he was a character in Crackdown, I want to say. I know
think
he did their
was.
commercials, but I think he was actually a character.
He was probably the voice of one of the characters. Those games
I've never played though. I just seen the commercials.
Dude, I was never gonna play a Crackdown game, but they did something smart. They made the beta for Halo 3. You have to purchase Crackdown, and you got a beta code. So I bought Crackdown to get the beta code for Halo 3, but ended up loving that game.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. I heard the second one wasn't good, but the third one just came out. I heard it was decent. I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly know nothing about those games, but yeah, I did hear about the Dave Bautista petitioning to be the main character. That you know what else just got announced? That Gears of War like landed a director. Not Gears of War.
Halo?
Borderlands.
Oh,
Borderlands is getting a movie.
Oh, really?
And just got a director. Yeah, I forgot who they said it was, but it was I think it was a couple of video game movies actually. Uncharted's supposed to start filming soon.
Tom Holland's supposed to be playing Nathan Drake.
Yeah, right? So he said he came out and he said he's like, here's the thing that took so long with development. Obviously, they lost like 7 directors. Like I think they're on their 7th director, but half of them weren't just like discrepancies between the director and the producers or anything. It was just that like timing issues.
Yeah,
you know, like I think 2 or 3 of the directors just were filming other things. Since it took forever to go through.
Did you see that fan film?
Yes.
Nathan Fillion, right? Was playing Nathan Drake?
Because he looks, sounds, acts, you know, he's just older. That's the only thing. And they had they wanted that, and they wanted J.K. Simmons to play Sully.
I'm not familiar with J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons is what's his name from? He's J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh,
from
okay.
The Sam Raimi. Spider-Man's.
Give me
he's
photos
great,
of Spider-Man.
Dude, he's perfect. He smokes a cigar and screams with a mustache in those movies.
He
that's
just needs
why.
To put a gold chain on, maybe a polo, like a Hawaiian polo shirt.
Yeah, that's it, a Hawaiian polo.
And then he's good.
So, but yeah, that short film, I forgot what it was called, but it was so good.
Yeah. Speaking of...
Because I knew who made it, too.
Short fan films. Did you ever see... Before the newest Power Ranger movie came out, there was a fan film made with the guy from Dawson's Creek. What's his name? James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
There was a fan film. It was about 15 to 20 minute fan film called Power/Rangers. Dude, Saban like sued them, took it off the air. Like, I watched it.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Really?
Yeah. If you can somehow find it on the internet, if it's somehow resurfaced,
do it.
It was incredible. Like it left me like aching for a Power Ranger movie. I was a Power Ranger kid.
Yeah.
You know, I watched every single
Power Rangers
Ranger.
and Ninja Turtles was my shit.
Yeah. You know, that was a really... It was like a dark take. Like, darker than the newer movie. Like, really dark version of Power Rangers. And I was like, I'm all in.
I watched the new one, too.
You didn't really like it?
I mean, it had good action and stuff. It was good for what you're trying to do. You know, like, the Power Rangers kind of seems like a ridiculous thing.
Yeah.
You know, like, I didn't hate it, but, you know, they're rebooting it already.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
I had discrepancies with what they did with Goldar. I didn't like what they did with Goldar. I loved what they did with Rita, though. Yeah. How she was the Green Ranger. Yeah, and she betrayed her team, and like that was like awesome. Yeah. I think that's a great concept on who the Green Ranger could be. And then, you know, when the new Green Ranger Tommy comes, he's gonna be bad, and like it's gonna be like he's following in her footsteps, but they're gonna turn him good. Like I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Because originally they had said they wanted to make 6 of them, and they hinted at a post credit that Tommy was going to be in the second one. Did you see the post credit?
I don't know if I stayed for the post credit. I didn't know they had one.
There was a post credit where like because you know how they met in detention or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like you see a desk with like Green on it and his book bag, and the teacher's doing roll call, yelling his name, Tommy. I can't remember his last name. Tom, and like you just hear the bell ring, and then it cuts out. I'm like, no way, Green Ranger's coming.
I gotta watch that. I found it, by the way. Borderlands movie in production, directed by Eli Roth. Eli Roth did, he does, what's it called? I think he does horror movies more so than anything. Horror. Eli Roth, best known for horror. Cabin Fever and Hostel. Yeah, he does the horror movies.
Oh, okay. Cabin Fever was really good.
So, like, think about that, but then, like, it doesn't seem like it fits in, but it could be super cool for him to do.
It's a gory game, so they could really go.
But it's gory and colorful, whereas like you don't really see that colorfulness. So it's going to be interesting to see the take that they take on that. I think.
Have you played the third one?
No. I know you played through it, right?
Yeah.
I played the first 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I just haven't played the third one yet.
Okay, it's a good game. Yeah. I thought it was going to be like the Destiny 2 killer.
Oh yeah.
And I was going to like play that because there was supposed to be raiding in it and all this stuff. I love the story. There's a long story, and it's typical Borderlands. You got those one-liners. You got Claptrap. You got the Psychonauts yelling stupid crazy things shit, right before they die. Like, I can't remember one of them. It's just like the dumbest thing. Like they just and then they blow themselves up. But it's like I can't believe somebody said that in voice acting and didn't like crack up.
Yeah,
like it's just so funny.
That's great. Yeah, actually, I got to play that one.
But the movie can go either way. It could be dark and dreary with like one-liner comedy in there, or it could be colorful and just comedy-driven with gore.
Yeah. Yeah, so who knows? We'll see what happens. I think there's a lot of game movies coming out. And
you said you just saw Sonic.
I did just see Sonic, yeah. I watched it yesterday, actually. And by accident. Well, not by accident. I went to go see Bad Boys 3, and I was too late, so... I watched Sonic. It was a good movie. It's a kid's movie. It really is. But it was enjoyable. You know what it is? I love Ben Schwartz, who voices Sonic. I think he's hysterical.
Who else does he voice, or has he been in?
Not that it makes a difference. He voiced BB-8 in Star Wars. Yeah, so he was like, oh, yeah. No, I voiced BB-8, so it's... But do you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yes, but not like religiously.
Oh,
okay. Like I've seen episodes.
He doesn't get introduced until like in but his character on Parks and Rec is John Ralphio, and he is by far my favorite character in the show. Like Julian and I used to quote him all the time. Like oh my god, it was so funny. He's just such a funny character, but he's done stuff you would know, but he's kind of like not somebody you would think of. He's done a lot of sketch comedy online.
Okay.
Like, that's where he came doing stuff. He did a lot of stuff with College Humor guys like Jake and Amir. Did you ever hear Jake and Amir?
I don't think so.
They were a College Humor like duo who are really funny. They still do work. But they started doing skits with him, and he is a fucking riot. But he voices Sonic, so, like, even though it's, like, a kid version, he's still funny. I like the shit that he says. And Jim Carrey was fantastic. Jim Carrey was great. He was such a good Dr. Robotnik.
Does he lose his mind?
He does. He has that descent
typical
into
Jim Carrey movie where he's just a lunatic.
Yeah, but what I liked about him is that he's like a dick, throughout the whole movie. Like everybody he talks to, because he's the smartest man on earth, basically.
Okay.
I hated his introduction into the movie. Not his personally, but like the way they introduce him, like the way that like
plane or something like that.
Well, kind of, but like the scene before that, Congress or like all these generals or whatever kind of talk about him, and it was a stupid scene to set him up with. But then he comes out and he's great.
Yeah,
he's just so funny. And they easily set up a sequel for that. I don't want to spoil anything because that movie did just come out.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch it.
Stay at 2 after credit scenes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, there's one like they have like an animated credit, and then there's one so it's like a minute after the movie ends, and then there's another one before the real credits. So
Knuckles,
stay for both
or Tails. That's all I have.
I'm not saying anything.
Knuckles or Tails.
I'm not saying anything.
No, I need to go see it.
Yeah. It is interesting because obviously, like, this is one of those movies that was so controversial because fans changed the movie.
Yeah.
That's how powerful fans were.
Well, did you see the original animation?
Yeah, it was fucking
Sonic?
absurd, and they should have never, ever released it like that. That was totally dumb on their part. They're lucky this turned out to be a hit because they might make their money back on all that fixing that they had to do.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. Like, even though they went for a realistic approach, that was ridiculous. The character looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is way better, and it doesn't even bother you that he doesn't look like a real person or a real character, and that who cares? Like
it's
he's
Sonic.
Sonic.
It's a game.
But it makes me believe, like, because they do introduce certain characters, and you're like, oh, I wonder what they looked like before they did this revamp.
So there's like other animated characters that show up.
Oh, and you got to think about it, yeah. So it's like these other animated characters. I wonder what they were supposed to look like. It's pretty cool. It's a cool take on what they do with because it's like he doesn't have a story. He's always just run through levels. Like that's
well,
the game,
they did have an animated TV show back in the day.
Oh, that's true. I think they actually still have one called like Sonic Boom or something.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe that's a game.
I think it's a mobile game.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. I used to watch. I was little when I watched the show, but I remember Dr. Robotnik was like the father of like Sonic's girlfriend or something like that.
Oh, really?
And like, I think it was like
it was like crazy. Yeah,
it was weird. Like, but I'm like, like as a kid, you don't really put 2 and 2 together. But
Yeah.
then, like as an adult, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, he's a human being and she's a hedgehog. How does that make sense?
There is one part in the movie where he's sitting there and James Marsden, who plays the guy character in the movie, turns to him and he's like, what are you? He's like, I'm a hedgehog. Isn't that obvious? Like I thought that was so funny. I was like, what? It's so stupid.
Did you ever see the meme? It's like James Marsden
yeah.
hasn't learned, and it's like it's him, and then it's like all the animated characters. It's like he's just a
that
chauffeur.
he's ever been with.
Yeah, it's just like he's just a chauffeur for animated characters, like the movie Hop, and then countless other ones.
That's funny. Oh yeah, didn't he did like an Easter Bunny movie or something like that?
Yeah, it was
right?
called Hop.
Hop. That is funny.
Yeah.
And but no, it was. You know what it is? Was it an amazing movie? No, but it was good, and I'll definitely watch the sequel.
Yeah.
Because that'll definitely come out. It did. It's doing well. I mean, I think it's been out for 2 weeks. It's doing well.
Yeah, I heard it broke all video game movie records currently.
So there's a thing with video game movies that, like, something Tom Holland said about the Uncharted movie is that when you try and base it off, like, the first... Say you try and make a movie based off the first game, like Ratchet and Clank did, which... Loved the series. The movie sucked.
I didn't see the movie.
It's a horrible movie. It wasn't good. It was too geared towards kids, whereas all of the games are not that way. The
raunchy.
Titles of the games are
arsenal.
raunchy. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Into the Nexus was the last main story game they did, and they wanted to name it Into the Nether Regions. All the names have this raunchy title to it. So why make this completely blatant kids movie? Sucked. But Tom Holland came out and he's like, "Here's the thing with the." I think we're doing Uncharted right because we're not taking the first, second, third game, fourth game. We're making our own story, our own prequel. That way you can't look at it and be like, oh, well, this was supposed to happen. This was supposed to happen because it happened in the game. You're totally out of that when you make a different story. And Tom Holland's somebody that they can make a series off. He's young enough.
If they come forth with that going forward, like saying off the bat, like, listen, we're taking the Uncharted universe, we're doing a prequel, and it's going to be its own thing. It's not really going to have anything to do with the games.
Yeah.
Like, there's no disappointment in that. It's just like, okay, I know this going in. But me, I like sometimes when things follow things to the T, because it's like...
Yeah, because you get excited when you know
see something, or a character gets introduced, or an action sequence happens. Like,
yeah.
Like when I read the manga for like Bleach, because the anime was behind. So, like, traditionally it always is. So I needed to know what happened. So I read it all the way through, and then it's like waiting for that fight to happen in the show. Awesome. Like, you know, it's just like you're always looking for
the anticipation is cool. No, I get that completely. That makes sense. But I guess that goes on both ways, you know, because if they do that and then they fuck it up, then it sucks, you know. So
it's all about expectation.
Yeah, we'll see what the Monster Hunter has a freaking movie coming out too.
Oh God, don't even. I don't like that game to begin with, but that movie, it's a game about, you know, it's like they have guns and stuff in the movie, but yet in the game it's like you have like swords, axes, bows, and arrows.
I don't know what they're doing. Apparently, from what I read, it's like regular Marines or something like that somehow fall into a rift and go to the Monster Hunter world. So like that's why they have their guns, I guess, because they start off as army personnel or Marines or something. I can't remember. And then they get transferred to this other dimension, and I guess that's where everything happens. I don't know shit about Monster Hunter, so I don't want to delve into that because I don't know much.
Yeah.
But they probably have a million video game movies that we haven't even heard about.
Well, the Halo movie's been in production since before the Gears of War movie,
forever,
and that's never really made it past
I think they're making a new Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, they are.
Right? So,
did you ever watch the web series for Mortal Kombat? I think it was called Mortal Kombat Legacies.
No, I've watched the old movie.
Dude, there's two
of them, right?
Yeah. They're like, people hate on them.
Yeah.
But like when I was a kid, when I saw them, and Mortal Kombat was everything back in the day on the Super Nintendo and the trilogy on N64.
You're watching it like, this is dope.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, that's Shao Kahn. Like, oh my God, that's Liu Kang. Like, it's awesome. But the web series was like, each episode focused around one or two characters. It was like they're like, it takes place after the events of everything, and like Liu Kang's evil now.
Yeah.
And him and Katana are like evil together or something like that, and Kung Lao he's a drunk bastard, and like Raiden comes to like hell. It's really good. It's very MMA oriented, so it's awesome. The fight sequences are awesome. I think there was 2 or 3 seasons of it, and it's definitely worth a watch because it's done very well. I think Machinima might have did it.
Yeah.
I don't quote me on that, but I think I remember seeing the Machinima logo whenever I watched it.
I feel like we've hit that point a couple times so far. Like don't quote me on that because
you know what,
we should probably do a little more research.
But you know, you talk about so many things. There's so many things going on in your head. Things start to blend together after a while. But...
I know. I used to go to the movies every week. I got to get back into that, or at least watch a movie every week. That's what I really wanted. You know, I saw a cool poster yesterday. I was at the mall, and it was in one of those comic stores, and it was a poster of 100 movies that had like scratch off. So if you watch the movie, you scratch it off, you know. And stuff like that.
I've seen those.
But it was like 100 of the most, not just critically acclaimed, but like well-liked movies, cult movies, you know, like stuff like that. Like movies you should watch.
Like Breakfast Club was probably on there.
Yeah, I would assume. So. They only showed like 5. It was like, which I loved. It was like Snatch by Guy Ritchie, Fight Club.
Fight Club's great.
Stuff like
did
that.
You know that
Big
they're
Lebowski.
making a second book?
Fight Club?
Yeah, he's right. He either wrote a second book or is writing a second book, and it's based off of...
What is he, running out of money from the first movie?
It's his child. It's what's his name? Tyler Durden, and what's the other alternate personality?
Tyler is Brad, right?
Right.
And then Ed Norton, I don't remember his name.
But
been a while. I used to watch that movie all the time. Why can't I remember
the book
that?
is based off of Tyler Durden's child. It's like he has the child and Tyler Durden's dormant, but the child it's not his child, it's Tyler's child.
Oh shit.
So it's like, that's what I heard. I'm not 100% sure on production of that.
Oh, he doesn't have a name, that's why. He's the narrator. That's it. They never really give him a name. That's why I couldn't remember.
Okay. Yeah, because he's always like Tyler. He always talks in third person. People are like, you always talking like Tyler's not here. That was a great movie.
Yeah, no, that one was great.
But yeah, I mean, I heard they were making he was writing another book, or there's going to be a second movie. I heard that like a while ago, like years ago. But
I know, those are always cool. There was a period of time where, like, when movies were announced, like, a year or two in advance, I would try and read the book real quick beforehand. Just to know the story and see those, like we were talking about, the similarities.
Yeah.
Because you're anticipating certain stuff. Like, I remember doing it for Ready Player One before that even got announced. I remember reading that book. The Martian, the Matt Damon movie.
Oh, that was a pretty good movie.
That was a great movie. That book was fantastic, too.
I didn't know it was a book.
He came out, that was his first book. He was like somebody who worked for NASA or something like that. Like, he was basically just going home and writing about shit that he knew and just made up a story, you know, which was cool because it was pretty in depth when you read the book because he knew what he was talking about, you know, like this wasn't a guy who really had to do research because he already knew this shit.
Yeah.
He wrote a second book called,
The Jupiterian?
No. What was the second one called? Arcadia or something like that? No, that's not it. I don't remember. But it was good as well. I read that one when it came out. And, I was on, like, a kick of doing that for some reason. I don't know why. Even Limitless. Remember the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper?
They made a TV show.
Yeah. But the movie was based off a book as well. Or I'm sure the show is based off the same book. Called The Dark Fields, I want to say. So it's cool to see all this stuff. Oh, you know what? What was the other one? What was a movie with Tom Cruise? Live, Die, Repeat. The Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
They're like,
I love that movie.
That movie's fantastic.
How many
amazing
times
book.
We lived through this already?
Yeah, amazing book. But the book has a weird name. It's like A Day to Kill or something like that. But that was fantastic too. And that guy based that whole book off the thought of like a video game. He was like, well, what happens to this character? You know, like, imagine there's a real person, how fucked up they would be dying and just coming back to life. Yeah. You know, like, that's what his thought process was before making the book.
Okay.
Which is cool, you know.
Speaking about video game characters,
yeah.
The movie with Ryan Reynolds, was it Free Guy or he's the NPC?
I think it is Free Guy, yeah.
And he's like the bank teller and he's got a gun to his head and
yeah.
He just decides not to take it anymore and he like fights back and puts on the goggles.
I wonder how that's going to be.
It's Ryan Reynolds.
It's going to be funny.
It's got to be funny.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, people talk trash about Green Lantern and all that stuff, but he even makes fun of it himself.
He talks trash about Green Lantern, yeah.
The Deadpool movies. Oh, God. Oh, Deadpool's in Fortnite now.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Season 2 of Chapter 2, if you buy the Battle Pass, it has like a picture of Deadpool like in a pool of like Battle Pass coins or whatever.
Yeah.
And it says, "Shh, I'm the secret skin." So like you actually have to do like Deadpool challenges to get his skin later on in like the season. It typically takes like 6 to 7 weeks. That's pretty cool.
Didn't they do an Avengers thing too?
Yeah, they have Avenger game modes. Right. Black Widow was in the game. I have her skin. Star-Lord was in the game. I don't have his skin. I didn't really like it.
Sounds so...
Yeah. They have like the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy has one of the gliders you could fly in on.
That's pretty cool.
Have that.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite is the perfect game to do crossover shit like that. Yeah. Promote a movie.
Batman was in it.
Really?
Yeah, I have that skin too.
That's the thing, dude. How do you promote a movie nowadays? You don't just go on interviews. You fucking put it in a video game. Yeah. You know, it's a stupid easy way to do that.
Most kids play that game.
Yeah. Not that most kids aren't probably going to go watch the Avengers anyway, but
yeah, amazing
marketing scheme.
They had Star Wars. Star Wars had an event in the game.
Oh, right.
They had server issues.
Didn't Star Wars release like a trailer or something in the game? Who just released a trailer in the game?
It was like a cutscene from the movie.
Right.
So like you have the J.J. Abrams comes and then a few other people were in it. And like it's in game, so they're in game avatars and like they have
everybody's just standing there.
Yeah, it's like on a stage platform.
Did anybody just go around just shooting people?
You can't. They turn it off.
Oh, like really? I was gonna say so many people would do that.
Yeah, so you're in there, and they're talking and talking and talking, and then they show you a scene from the movie.
Yeah.
And then they make you vote on what your favorite lightsaber color is, and you have like it's a countdown, and then once it hits 0, all of a sudden whatever color you were standing on was the lightsaber you had in your hand, and then everybody had lightsabers, and it was like a whole game mode. Like where they were just slaughtering each other, and then lightsabers were in the game for like a good month, I want to say.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't play Fortnite, but they are doing some genius stuff as far as well, like I just said, marketing and stuff, but just the way that they're constantly changing up
Yeah.
the game, it's genius. You know, like they're doing an amazing thing, and that game's not going away anytime soon.
No.
Not at all. I mean, you know more than anybody. You know,
It definitely hits low points because with any seasonal model, like towards the end, after you unlocked all the skins, did all the challenges,
yeah,
you know, you only so many times you can play this loop over and over again. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play Call of Duty and Halo nonstop. I would skip meals, not sleep. But like today, I feel like I can't keep doing the same repetitive thing. But
yeah,
these kids, man, they crank out
they
games,
just keep going. It's
steal
nuts.
parents' credit cards and buy V-Bucks. I mean, that's what happens.
It's crazy.
They got it. They got a captive audience, man. The kids love that game.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, we started off talking about Parasite. We've
Ended
made
up
it all the
on
way to
Netflix.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Somehow. That's 2020 for you. But I say we wrap it up there for our first episode. And we will definitely be continuing this. So stay tuned.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We'll try and get it out on a permanent schedule when we figure that out. We'll get that to you. But keep a lookout. Again, I'm Shelby. That's Ralph.
I'm Ralph. You could find me on twitch.tv/mushmasterflex.
Right. Go watch. As we just ended on Fortnite, go watch and play Fortnite and Destiny 2.
I suck. Don't worry.
And I don't do that stuff, so you can't follow me there. But again, keep a lookout for us here, and we will see you next time.
Thanks.